Hi, everybody, and welcome to our HETV Game of the Week here on Wednesday, April 11th, 2018. I'm Ryan Fay with you here for our Game of the Week as it takes us to Schaumburg High School, the home of the Saxons, as they welcome in their crosstown rival, the Conant Cougars. Now, both these teams had a matchup at Conant yesterday that the Cougars won on their home field by the score of 5-4, so the Saxons are looking to get some revenge on the conclusion of this home-and-home here today. We'll get you set for first pitch and a whole lot more coming up here on our HETV Game of the Week. Thank you, everybody, making your plans to be with us here on this Wednesday, April 11, 2018. The Schaumburg Saxons have now taken the field defensively. We'll get to those defensive lineups in just a moment, but first we'll start with the visiting Conant Cougars, who come in today with a record of 3-5-1 on their 2018 campaign. So at the top of the batting order, it'll be Sam Ryan leading off for the Cougars, playing shortstop today. Batting second in the lineup, and you'll see here as the second batter is number 20 and Dave Sapita, and he's behind the mound, or I should say he's behind the home plate spot, catching his pitcher who is batting third in number 1, Mason Sykes. The cleanup spot batting fourth is the second baseman, number 16, and Tyler Hedman. Batting fifth is the center fielder, number 22, Jack Rieger. Batting sixth is the third baseman, number 9, Christian Seegers. Batting seventh is the first baseman, number 7, Matt Major, the 6'3" senior. Batting eighth and playing out in right field is number 5, Cole Kitty, and rounded off the batting order playing out in left field is number 17 in Quinn Fitzgerald. Get to the defensive lineup for the Schaumburg Saxons today. We'll start at the pitcher's mound that you'll see first. He's wearing number 29, and that's Brandon Seidner. Also out there rounding off from third around, we'll go clockwise with it. At third base is number 16 in Albert Kiska, who will be batting third, and we'll get to that batting order in a little bit. At the shortstop spot is number 3 in Jake Gallagher. Over at second base is Sakamoto, number 4. And then over at third base will be number 17 in Schoffenmarker. And then going out from left, center, and right will be Robinson, Caleb, and Lancaster. The Saxons in their home red uniforms, white pants, red hats. And the Conant Cougars at the plate batting. They are in their road blue uniforms with the red socks, white numbers, and the red belt as well, the dark helmets. As we get set for the first pitch, the left-handed Seidner goes for it, and we are underway on our HETV Game of the Week, and it's taken for a called strike one to Ryan. And Conant got the 5-4 victory. Your umpires for the game today, Kevin Moore calling balls and strikes behind home plate. And right after the first pitch, we looked like some tape was on the arm. And as I'll bring in now I
think he had a bracelet.
I think a bracelet on, so the umpire, Kevin Moore, decided to get that out. And the voice you just heard, Bruce Anderson, with me here down the third base line. Rick Signorella down by the right field foul pole area. Here comes the 0-1 to Ryan. That'll be down and inside for a ball. A cloudy day here at Schaumburg High School, but we are dry.
Light breeze out of the south.
As this one is popped up behind home plate. Count now will go to 1-2 on Ryan.
Oh, into the tennis courts.
So we'll call that a deuce for whatever is happening on the tennis courts. Maybe it's 40 love now after the ball hitting on the past that white line on the tennis court. Here comes the 1-2 to Ryan. This one is drilled down to right center field, and going after that one is Caleb, and he will be there to let it go almost to the wall, but he did make the catch. A running grab to right center field. So a nice catch there by Caleb, and that's the first out of this top of the first inning.
Hit well, but a long out.
And long out, we'll talk about the dimensions here. It's 313 to the left corner and right corner respectively. And talking to head coach of the Schaumburg Saxons, Cal Seeley, said it's to the alleys and left center and right center plays about roughly 340, 350, depending on, of course, where you hit it. And to deep center, it's 380, as on the first pitch here for Sapita, hits that one down the right side foul. But allowed out to begin today's festivities here at Schaumburg High School from Ryan. Sykes is on deck, the pitcher for the Cougars batting third.
He's already got him psyched.
Psyching his teammates, psyching himself up. Here comes the 0-1. It's inside for a ball. You mentioned, Bruce, the wind, but pregame it really wasn't that much of a breeze at all, if any. And now we approach game time, and now we're underway. It's picking up, and if you're a right-handed batter, it would have you to be the advantage, as This one was skied up into the air down the right side. Going after that one is Schoenberg, but he will not have a play on it, so the count will go to 1 and 2.
So basically, I'm there all day.
So Schoenberg will come on back, and we'll get a new ball in play off this 1-2 from Cepeda that he'll see. Again, the left-handed pitcher today in Seidner. Gets ready on the delivery. And here comes his 1-2. This one is a grounder going up towards the middle. Getting that one is Sakamoto. And he will not have a play on it, so he'll have to swallow it up, and that'll be an infield hit for Cepeda to get on first base with 1 out here in the top of the first. And that'll bring up the pitcher in Sykes now to the plate. No DH being used today from Conant. Schaumburg will have a DH for their pitcher in Seidner. We'll get to their lineup when they come up to bat in the bottom of the first.
So what do you think? Was that an error?
I think because of the no play, I think that'll be ruled an infield hit. No play was attempted to go to first, as Sakamoto just kind of swallowed it up and decided to fight another day, as this first pitch to Sykes is up and in for a ball. Both of the last 2 batters have made a contact with the ball on 1-2 pitches respectively. Comes this 1-0. That one's above the strike zone for ball 2. Hedman is on deck, the second baseman. You'd say, when you talk about players, if they're a captain, you want to put a C on their chest. Well, Conant, they have a C on everybody's chest here. As this one lower and in, and that's the strike zone that Kevin Moore will be calling, and that's a strike, 2-1. Seidner was looking to kind of see if he could play the corners. Hasn't been able to early on. Throws over to first just to keep the runner at bay, and the courtesy runner in for the Cougars, and that's number 13, Luke Van Boeven. Courtesy runners are allowed out there in IHSA play, so that will not take the spot of Cepeda in the lineup, as that one's outside for a ball, 3-1. You also see courtesy runners in the college level too. Seidner gets set, looks over at first, and he delivers on this 3-1, and Sykes swings and misses on that cut, and the count runs full now at 3-2.
Looked like he was trying to clear the fences with that cut.
And as we mentioned, if you're a right-handed batter with this light breeze coming out of the south-southwest, it would be your advantage, but wind is not the biggest of factors here today, as here comes the full count throw, and did he check his swing? Yes, he did, so that'll draw the walk, and now runners will be on first and second with 1 out, and that'll bring up the second baseman in number 16, Tyler Hedman.
Not the way they want to start off the game. 2 up, 2 on.
Snyder looks like from when he's trying to look to his infield defense, try to play a ground ball game to try to get 2 perhaps. So Hedman stands on in, the right-handed batter. And this one he whacks at, hits behind the fence behind home plate, foul. The small ball game early on here for the Cougars. They got the victory yesterday over Schaumburg 5-4 over at Conant. It's the second of the home and home in the last couple of days. Well, Schaumburg had a 3-run 7th. The rally fell short, as that 0-1 delivery on the breaking ball is low and in, as we're even up at 1-1. Rieger, the center fielder, is on deck for the Cougars. Runners on first and second. Simon looks back over at second and delivers. That one's up and in, and it's 2-1. One out, top of the first. Just underway here at Schaumburg High School, our HETV Game of the Week. Glad you've made your plans to be with us on this Wednesday, April 11th. Here comes the 2-1 offering. This one we fouled back as well over the net out of play, and the count runs even at 2-2.
And that one also back onto the tennis courts. I don't think they're loving it.
I think that comes with the territory, though. If you know there's going to be a 4:45 first pitch, and you decide to have your spring tennis in, as this one's almost over the outstretched arm. of the catcher there for the Saxons.
Catcher had to go up for that one. Nice stretch.
Yeah, Unger almost had to almost jump. So the count now is full at 3-2. Throw back over to second. That one's going to get into center field, and both runners will advance to second and third respectively. So now 2 runners in scoring position for the Cougars, still with 1 out here in the top of the first inning. So we'll call that as a E1 on the throwback to second. Not very often do you call for an E1 in the top of the first inning. Either way, still a 3-2 pitch coming. And that one's high and in, and the bases are loaded. So that is back-to-back walks for the Cougars. You got Cepeda over at third.
Ryan, I think he's just setting him up for the triple play here. He's toying with them.
My apologies, Van Boeven, the courtesy runners at third. You have Sykes over at second, Hedman now at first. And that brings up Rigo, the center fielder, who swings at the first pitch he sees, 0-1.
The walk, the only play there's no defense for in baseball. He's given up 2 of them here in the first inning.
The second pitch seen by Rieger is away for a ball. Big spot here for Rieger, the center fielder, with the bases loaded and 1 out. Trying to strike early. It was a back-and-forth battle yesterday. Conant trying to strike first here as Rieger foul tips it to the backstop, and it goes to 1-2. Seidner trying to get out of this jam here early on. Cal Seeley, the head coach of the Saxons. Derek Feivelson, the head coach for the Cougars. Here comes the pitch. That one bounces in. Runners coming in off the wild pitch. Runners advance. A run scores, and Conant strikes first, 1-0. So Van Boeven comes in on the wild pitch. And advances Hedman over to second. And Sykes goes over to third.
Well, that blows my triple play theory.
So it goes down to a double play potentially, as here comes the delivery. That's high and in.
Except there's no runner on first, so it makes it really hard to get a double play.
Patient at bats here early on for Conant, as the count now is full once again at 3-2. Third straight batter who's taken it to a full count. Here's the offering. He swings at that one, and camping underneath it there is Caleb. Runner's tag. Throw comes in towards third, not in time. A run scores. Sykes comes on in. Hedman goes over to third. And it is 2-0 Cougars here in the top of the first inning with 2 outs.
Both outs hit to center field.
That'll bring up the third baseman in Christian Seegers now. As even some of the pesky insects known as the bees are even out on this warmer day today.
Outside, ball 1.
Seegers a good game yesterday in the 1-run victory over the Saxons. Comes the offering as this one's foul tip back behind home plate. Majors on deck, the first baseman. Then would be Kilty and Fitzgerald, as the Cougars would love to try to get through the order in the first inning here. There's the 1-1 offering, and that one is taken for a strike, and it goes to 1-2. So a chance here for Seidner to limit the damage with a runner in scoring position. Here comes the 1-2. That one low and in. Gets away for a few feet, but no advancement from Hedman from third. So far, only 1 hit off the 2 runs that have been scored. There's been 2 walks. Runners have advanced off of wild pitches. As that one's up above the strike zone, and the count runs full once again, 3-2 with 2 outs.
And outside, the catcher going out to get it.
So big spot here for Seidner to try to limit the damage on this full count delivery. This one fouled back, and we'll do it again. Other activities going on in the Saxon's athletics department today. They got badminton, we were told. There's some swimming stuff even going on for off-season workouts, as this offering is a grounder towards the third base side, and that's going to get in for a base hit. A run scores, and the Cougars get another one on the board here in the top of the first. It is 3-0 with 2 outs. So an RBI single for Seegers, scores in Hedman, and that'll bring up the first baseman and Matt Major. Major, the 7th hitter in the lineup, swings at the first one behind home plate. And Bruce, you just mentioned it. It's a field day of baseballs going out to the tennis courts.
Glad we're not parked there.
Yeah, and the tennis court's getting the early action early on the top of the first. As here comes this 0-1 offering. That one's above the strike zone for a ball. So far, just 2 hits on 3 runs. 1 run scored off of a wild pitch. There's also 1 error, as this one is inside for a ball. 2-1.
Now the Conant pitcher having control problems here to start off.
And not seeing really much consistency. A lot. If we're going to talk consistency, maybe there's been more pitches inside the strike zone. Was that one right on cue there to try to get the consistency back? A swing and a miss, strike 2.
Pulled the string on that one. Nice breaking ball.
Count runs even with the runner on first. 2 outs. 3 runs have scored for Conant here in the top of the first. As the Saxons want to get out of this and have a chance to bat on their own, as that one just getting a piece of that was Major, and we'll do it again.
Staying alive, staying alive.
As this one on the 2-2 is popped up in the shallow right center. That's going to fall in for a single. Seager will round towards third. The throw is in, and he is out. So the throw there from Lancaster gets Seegers trying to go to third. Mark that a 9-5 on your scorecard. And that'll do it for the top of the first inning, but the damage done for the Cougars as they put up a 3 spot to start off today's contest. We'll see what the Saxons can do when they come up to bat in the bottom of the first inning here on our HETV Game of the Week. Back with you here on HETV for our Game of the Week as we're here at Schaumburg High School, the home of the Saxons. We go to the bottom of the first inning of play. Cougars struck first with a crooked number on the board of 3 runs. Saxons come up to bat now. We'll go down the order. The DH, they'll be using it today. That'll be Ben Kim in for the pitcher spot and Brandon Seidner. Down the order we go second to third in the top, or the bottom of the first inning rather, that you'll see. You'll see the left fielder in Tyler Robinson bat second. The third baseman in number 16 in Albert Kiska will bat third. In the cleanup spot batting fourth is the right fielder in Lancaster, who made that nice throw to the third baseman to end the top of the first. And then batting fifth will be the catcher in Joe Unger. Sixth is the center fielder number 7, Nick Caleb. Batting 7th in the lineup is the first baseman in number 19 in Justin Schofenacker. Batting 8th is the second baseman, number 2, Ruan Sakamoto. And then rounding it off for the Saxons is the shortstop in number 3, Jack Gallagher, as that one taken for a strike off the first pitch to Kim, 0-1. Mason Sykes, the pitcher for the Cougars, sets up on this 0-1. Bit inside, count runs even. Talked to Cal Seeley a little bit before the game today. He's trying to have his team just kind of shake off a little rust, as before yesterday they didn't have a game for a week and a half. As this one, Kim fouls down towards the Cougars dugout as it goes to 1-2. Talking to Coach Seeley, he mentioned how they were trying to get into the groove of things as they had played the most games in the month of March than they had ever done in program history. And then with all the inclement weather in the area, it's kind of been a bit of a bumpy ride as Kim takes a looking strike 3. So a looking strikeout from Kim will bring up Robinson. Robinson will check on in, the left-handed batter. So 1 out here early on. And Schaumburg losing yesterday to Conant over at Conant 5-4. Bit of a back and forth game over at Conant yesterday. That one just misses the strike zone for a ball, 1-0 to Robinson. Back-to-back errors committed by Schaumburg in the 6th did not help their cause, losing by 1 yesterday. As this one's taken for a strike, the count runs even to 1-1. And Bruce, I think we can attest, if you have back-to-back errors in a late situation game, you're not going to win a lot of ball games doing that.
No, that hurts, as did back-to-back walks here in the first inning for Schaumburg.
That one with a little curve action above the zone makes it 2-1. Sykes settles in, and the delivery. That one high again, and it's 3-1 to Robinson. 7-inning games here in IHSA baseball. Slaughter rules 10 runs after 5 innings, but these crosstown rivals, I don't think it'll be that much of a difference, as these are always tough contests, as Robinson draws a walk.
Robinson with a small strike zone.
As that'll bring up the third baseman in Albert Kiska. And in talking to Cal Celia, the coach of the Saxons prior to today's game, he's over coaching down third base here today. Above 360 hitter so far this year. He's got a lot of high hopes for Kiska this season. As his first pitch he sees is up and in for a ball. Bit of a younger team that Coach Seeley's dealing with. All the JV members of the roster are all sophomores, and he expects a good chunk of them to be up here next year. And a balk has been called, and that'll put Robinson over to second. Not very often do you see a balk. That's called by the infield umpire and Steve Arms. So a runner in scoring position now for the Saxons due to the Sykes balk. Comes the 1-0 pitch. Low and away, 2-0. I think umpire and Steve Arms caught the foot movement of Sykes to get the block. I think he may have stepped off a second time too many based on the movement before the delivery of the pitch. Here comes 2-0. 9 in, 3-0.
So Sykes, who looked like he had pretty good control starting off, is losing it.
You notice he wasn't pleased when the balk was called. See if Kiska gets the green light on this 3-0 delivery. Doesn't need to, as he draws a walk. So back-to-back walks, just like we saw on the top of the first. As that'll bring up Jack Lancaster, the right fielder.
And that's what Schaumburg needs, is base runners.
They trail 3-0 here in the bottom of the first. One out off of a looking strikeout from the DH and Ben Kim. Lancaster at the plate. Made a nice defensive play to end the top of the first as he smokes this one out towards deep center, and making the leaping catch out there is Rieger. So a loud second out here in the bottom of the first inning, as that'll bring up the catcher and Unger. Center field work has been very busy for both sides here today so far early on.
Center fielder playing in had to go back quickly for that and just made a stabbing grab. Nice play.
Joe Unger steps in. Runners at first and second, 2 out in the bottom of the first. Breaking ball action for a strike that Unger sees, 0-1. Caleb, the center fielder, is on deck. 0-1 with 2 outs, 2 men on. Here's the offering, high and in for a ball.
So ducks on the pond, as they say. Got to get at least one of those guys in, close the gap a little bit.
This one is hit out towards left center field. Both guys chasing after it, and that's going to be dropped by Rieger. He was late into it. It's going to go to the wall, and that will bring in 2 runs as stumbling after second. You better go back there, Unger. He stands in with a 2-run double, and the Saxons have cut the deficit to 1.
Oh, and they're sending.
And it looks like he'll be coming out for a courtesy runner. And that'll be number 22 in Jacob Bishop. So he'll go out there as the courtesy runner for the catcher. So that'll bring up the center fielder and Caleb with a good chance here to try to tie it off the 2-run double from Joe Unger.
It's a brand new ball game, 3-2. The man on second.
And that one, Rieger had a step on it as this one fouled back, and that one may have actually caught the mask of home plate umpire Kevin Moore. If he's laughing about it, we know he's okay. Makes it 0-1. Puts the mask back on, he's okay.
Not the way he wanted to be using his head this game.
Sykes now gets ready and delivers that one down and in. Puts it there for a ball. I had the chance to speak with Kevin a little bit earlier, and he goes, "Where are you going to be for the game?" And I was like, "I'll be over by third base." And he goes, "Well, you're safer there." I indirectly told him I was aware of that, but I was still going to be nice about it. Here comes the 1-1 from Sykes. This one popped up down the right side over the net out of play. It's 1-2. Schoffernacher on deck, the first baseman. Courtesy runner Bishop on second for Unger, who had a 2-run double in his at-bat. Here comes the 1-2.
Another one out of play.
By the exact same spot. Looks like he even went over the same part of the net, too.
If there was tennis practice, it's been canceled by now.
I believe they have 4 tennis courts over down that right side behind the nets, I believe, when we came here today. Maybe 6. Well, that's pretty good. That one high and in. This one gets away for a moment. Bishop is going to be caught in a rundown. This one will go to the shortstop play, throw to third, and he is safe. So off the wild pitch, and it looked like Bishop was in a rundown. He somehow gets his left foot into third. And he is 90 feet away from trying to tie this game up here in the bottom of the first inning.
Not a lot on that throw from the shortstop. And it was high, enabling him to get down underneath the tag.
I think, yeah, it looked like Sam Ryan may have been a little fooled on as to the running path Bishop was taking, perhaps. Either way, here's the 2-2. That's high and in. And it is not ball 4. And Caleb's going to have to come back. I'm looking at my score sheet here. I was like, wait, wasn't that ball 3? I thought maybe I had it wrong, but I did not. It's a full count. Everybody having a laugh in the Saxons dugout as even Sykes even looked over and was like, that was ball 3, buddy. It's full count. Here comes the 3-2. This one fouled back to the netting. So we've seen a balk and a misinterpreted ball 4.
And a missed rundown.
A lot of weird action here in the first inning so far. This is the full count delivery once again. This one popped up to the right side for Sykes. He goes after to get it, and they let it drop as Sykes and Major were trying to call for it respectively, and they both went away after one thought the other had it. So another chance here for Caleb with another 3-2 coming his way in a moment.
Schaumburg given a lot of extra opportunities here this inning.
And they were given off the balk, and that led to a walk from Kisko and a 2-run double from Unger. That's where we stand right now. Here's the 3-2. This one chopped up to Ryan, and he'll throw over to first in time to get Caleb. And that'll do it for this bottom portion of the first inning. We go to the top of the second. Cougars will be coming back up to bat, up by 1, here on our HETV Game of the Week. About to begin the top of the second inning. Glad you're with us for our HETV Game of the Week. We go to the top of the second. It's Conant 3, Schaumburg 2, here at Schaumburg High School, the home of the Saxons. On this Wednesday, April 11, 2018. Ryan Fay with you on the call alongside Bruce Anderson. With me here to my left on the third base line. And also a great shout out to our guy Rick Signorella, who's down on the opposite side down by the right field line. He said he's a little scared of foul balls if they come his way.
He's had some near misses over the seasons.
Cole Kilty is in the box. He swings and misses at the first pitch. It'll be Kilty right now, followed by the left fielder in Quinn Fitzgerald. Then we go back to the top of the order for Sam Ryan. Here comes the 0-1. That one's low and inside for a ball. There were 3 runs for Conant in that first inning off of 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. Seegers got caught out trying to go to advancing to third. And out getting him was the right fielder in Lancaster for the Saxons. It was a good laser throw, too, from that right field spot in that first inning. Here comes a 2-1. Going in there for a strike, and the count evens up at 2-2. Fitzgerald on deck. Here comes the 2-2. And a foul tip, just getting a piece of that, was Kilty. A little bit of a, looks like he had a chat with one of the assistant coaches and Zach Holikowski before coming into the box and just take an easy approach as he take that one high for a ball, and the count runs full. Zach's brother Zenon Kolikowski, also the assistant coach for the Cougars. Comes the 3-2, and he draws a walk to start this top of the second inning.
Again, not the way you want to start off an inning.
It's the 3rd walk issued from Seidner, excuse me. Seidner gave up back-to-back walks in the first, and then runners advance off of a wild pitch he had thrown back in that first inning. Quinn Fitzgerald into the box now, and he tries to bunt, and staying over at first is Kilty. Thought about going to second, had a little bit of a more advanced leadoff than usual.
Well, expecting the bunt to be laid down, ready to go. He was on the move, then had to scamper back.
Back off throw to first, not in time. You mentioned the small ball approach in that first inning that we saw from Conant. Trying to show it again here early on with Fitzgerald showing bunt on that first pitch he saw. He's going to do it again, and he pulls away. That one is way outside for a ball, 1-1. Scoring in the game yesterday came in the later innings. We've had quite a bit of high-paced action. This one up inside for a ball as Fitzgerald pulled the bat back, and it's 2-1.
So again with control problems here.
Comes a 2-1 bunt being shown down to the third base side. Play just goes over to first in time. The pitcher and Seidner gets it, throws to first. Kilty will advance to second. So that will go put us back to the top of the order for Sam Ryan. Ryan flew out to center back in the first. As he steps in with a runner in scoring position and 1 out here in the top of the second.
Big swing and a miss.
And right as the pitch was being delivered, the siren behind us at the football field had went off. And it kind of threw off the timing there of everybody, as this 0-1's outside for a ball. What they always tell you, welcome to high school sports, you can expect anything like that. Multiple things happening in the same region at once. Softball's playing today as well, as this one is skied up in the air down the right side. Lancaster comes in, and calling off for it was Sakamoto as he makes the catch. And there are 2 away here in the top of the second. So that'll bring up Cepeda, who had an infield hit back in that first inning. The pitcher Sykes is on deck. Runner still at second, that being in Cole Kilty. Seidner throws that first pitch out for a ball.
And he's not missing by a little, he's missing by a lot.
Yeah, you've seen the body language after a few pitches, Bruce, and it kind of has been telling the story a little bit early on. As that one, he paints the corner there for a strike. As those have been the kind of pitches he tried to throw early on and wasn't getting the call, and there's finally he got the corner call that he was looking for from home plate umpire and Kevin Moore. Here comes the 1-1. Going high and in, no argument there. Sykes, who was on deck, drew a walk in the first. Cepeda settles in, here comes the pitch. This one smacked towards right center. Lancaster calling for it, and he makes the catch. So a much quicker second inning defensively for the Saxons. So no runs scored by the Cougars, no hits, no errors, and one man left on base. Score remains at 3-2 as we go to the bottom of the second inning. Saxons coming up to bat next here on our HETV Game of the Week. Back with you here on our HETV Game of the Week between the Conant Cougars and the Schaumburg Saxons. Glad you can make your plans to be with us. I'm Ryan Fahey with you here on the broadcast alongside Bruce Anderson, Rick Signorella, some great shots down the right field side. Up to bat now, Justin Schoffernacher, the first baseman, followed by Sakamoto and Gallagher to get us going here in the bottom of the second as first pitch taken for a strike, 0-1.
Nice off-speed pitch. Right in there.
Sykes resets on the mound. Here comes the delivery as this one is chopped right back to the pitcher and Sykes. And a quick throw to first, and there is one down. Gave a little bit of a stare back over to Schoffernacher as well.
That was a self-defense catch right there.
And he just put the glove up in right place, right time. That brings up Sakamoto, who swings at that one and fouls it behind home plate. Sakamoto caught the pop-up earlier back in the second to keep a runner at bay at second. Back in the top of the second as he takes that pitch just on the inside for a strike. Goes to 0-2. Gallagher on deck, the shortstop, batting ninth in the order today. This one has to duck underneath for a ball. So a little bit of missed inconsistency from both pitchers so far early on. So here comes this one, fouled back behind home plate. Bruce, you talked about the command issues of Seidner. Sykes a little bit of that here in this last few at-bats that he's had to deal with, as this one is ripped towards center field, and that one will drop in for a base hit. So Sakamoto gets aboard, and that'll bring up Gallagher, the shortstop, with a runner on first and one out. The at-bat of Gallagher will go back to the top of the order for the Schaumburg Saxons. Bringing the batter checks in. Sykes looks over back at first. That's the first pitch of this at-bat. That's called for a strike, 0-1.
Thought about it, didn't pull the trigger.
As you can see off that facial expression if they really regret pulling the trigger or not doing it in their at-bat. As this one is
going.
Yep, the runner went, but instead it's going to be a fly out to right. Kilty gets underneath it, and Sakamoto's going to have to stay at first. So 2 outs now and a runner on first. We go back to the top of the order, as that will bring up the DH and Ben Kim. Kim, the DH today for the pitcher, Brandon Seidner. Kim struck out looking back in the first.
Sakamoto figuring out pretty quick he ought to stay near first base.
As you mentioned, he was going on that pitch too. And almost towards second base.
There he's going again.
There you go, right on cue, Bruce. This one is going to be in time. So caught stealing ends the inning, as Sakamoto did not get the proper jump that he was looking for. So that'll do it for the bottom of the second inning. No runs off of one hit, no errors, and no one left on base. So we've completed 2 full innings of play. We go to the top of the third. Conant 3, Schaumburg 2. We got 30-inning action and more coming for you next here on our HETV Game of the Week. We go now to the top of the third inning. Conant 3, Schaumburg 2. Glad you're with us for our HETV Game of the Week. Ryan Fay with you here on the broadcast alongside Bruce Anderson down by the third base side. Rick Signorella getting some great shots down by the right field angles that you'll be seeing throughout our broadcast here on this Wednesday, April 11, 2018. It'll be the pitcher Sykes getting into the box now, followed by Hedman and Rieger to follow. The 3, 4, and 5 hitters for the Cougars today. Seidner, the pitcher, checks in, and the first pitch of this top. The third is a swinging foul tip 0-1. Sykes took a walk back in the first inning. He eventually advanced to third off of an error, off of a pickoff throw attempt from Seidner, and eventually came in as a run scoring off of a wild throw, as he takes that one for a strike, looking 0-2. Here comes the offering. Is that one hops in? I don't think Unger, I think he was going to try to say forget it after he one-hopped him. Then he tried to make a play, but it was a hair too late. That one bounced over him and the umpire's head. And by all means, that is a clear ball 1.
Yeah, it hit about 5 feet in front of the plate.
I think that actually, I don't even think it hit the dirt. I don't know if Seidner lost grip or what, as this one is rolled past the pitcher over to the second baseman, Sakamoto, throw to first in time. There is one away. So that'll bring up the second baseman, Tyler Hedman. Once again, Hedman also drew a walk back in the first. It was back-to-back walks that Sykes and Hedman had drawn. Hedman then advanced on a wild pitch to second. And he also came in as a run scored in that 3-run first inning. So Hedman on in. Nobody on, 1 out, top of the third inning. That one is inside for a ball.
Wind starting to pick up here.
You mentioned coming into the game today, we were not sure if the wind was going to be a factor, as the wind was rather calm. This one is hit out towards right. Screamer to right is caught there by Lancaster, and there are 2 away. So quickly 2 down for the Cougars, as want to rely on Riga to start a 2-out rally. As to your point, first inning or so was rather calm, and now we can feel the effects of the wind blowing from right to left field here. So this first pitch to Rieger, it's fouled back behind home plate. Those tennis courts again getting that busy action.
Yeah, the wind started out of the southwest and it's swung around to the southeast now.
If you're a right-handed batter here, take advantage of this quick little action of gusts, as this one is inside for a ball. Temperatures also have started to cool off a little bit. Temperatures were peaking around 65 as this one's fouled to the right side, netting out of play. It'll go to 1-2. Although based on the weather we've recently had, this won't feel as cold as before, as Seidner steps off the mound for a moment. I heard it's supposed to rain over the weekend and get colder again, and we might even see snow coming up. This one is grounded to the shortstop there, and Gallagher, throw over to first, is in time to get the out. So the first 1-2-3 inning of the day concludes. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base, as the Saxons clean them up easily in the top of the third. They'll come up to bat next in the bottom of the third on our HETV Game of the Week. About to get set for the bottom of the third inning. Saxons up to bat. Glad you're with us for our HETV Game of the Week here at Schaumburg High School, as the Saxons taking on the Conant Cougars in some IHSA baseball action out of the Mid-Suburban West Conference. The DH Kim back into the box. May have saw him in the batter's box back in the second, but a caught stealing from Sakamoto trying to go to second. That'll give Kim that official at bat, so he's back in there and swings and misses at this first one. 0-1. Kim took a called strike 3 back in the first as he takes that one. Robinson and Kiska follow him in the orders. We're back to the top of the Saxons batting order. Comes the 1-1. Foul back, 1-2. Conant 3-5-1 on the season so far. Schaumburg 2-6. Schaumburg 0-1 in conference play. Conant 1-0. Their first games came yesterday. These two teams playing each other over at Conant yesterday. Here comes the 1-2. Down and in to even the count up of 2-2. I mentioned earlier, Conant got the 5-4 victory, but not before a 3-run rally in the 7th from Schaumburg, but wasn't enough in the end. Here comes 2-2. Down and in for a full count. 2 errors were committed by Schaumburg in the 6th inning on back-to-back plays. Gave the Cougars enough for that 1-run victory yesterday, as this one's a chopper to the shortstop and Ryan. Throw over to first is in time as Kim grounds out, and there is one away here in the top of the 3rd inning. Tyler Robinson now will come back to the plate to check into the batter's box. Robinson took a walk off of a 3-1 pitch back in the 1st inning, and he advanced the 2nd off of a rare balk call. Left-handed batter gets in. Sykes gets ready. Right-handed pitcher winds up and delivers. That one's called for a strike on 1.
Right at the letters.
Can't really read it up better than that for a strike zone as Kiska is on deck. 3rd baseman for the Saxons. Here comes the 0-1. This one chopped to the shortstop again for Ryan. Throw to first is in time. So back-to-back ground outs to the shortstop. And there are 2 away here in the bottom of the 3rd inning as Kiska will come to the plate. Kiska drew a walk back in the 1st inning as well. So the pitchers both have seemed to settle down here after the wild 1st inning that we had from both sides. As Kiska gets ready. That one high and in for the ball. Talked about how it's a crosstown rivalry between Schaumburg and Conant. These guys have most likely played Little League ball together. This one is roped out towards left field. Major going after it, but it is foul. Nearly had the home run distance to the 313 sign down the left field foul.
Yeah, he turned on that one real well.
Kiska will come back into the box. To my point from a moment ago, these guys are very familiar with each other as Little League ball growing up, playing together, knowing each other's styles as Kiska takes that one for strike 2. Styles to be familiar with one another. Here's the 1-2. Reaches out for that one, goes over to the 3rd baseman, and Seegers throws it over to first in time. And that's 3 ground outs here in this bottom of the 3rd inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody on. Saxons go quiet here in the 3rd. We go to the top of the 4th inning. It's the Cougars 3 and the Saxons 2 on our HETV Game of the Week. We go to the top of the 4th inning on our HETV Game of the Week between the Conant Cougars and the Schaumburg Saxons. Here on the baseball field, home of the Saxons. Ryan Fay with you here on the broadcast alongside Bruce Anderson. Here down the 3rd base side, Rick Signorella over down by the right field area. The balls have come his way yet so far today. Now if he was on the tennis courts, that's a different story. As we'll see Seegers, Major, and Kilty here in the top of the 4th. The 6, 7, 8 hitters of the order for the Cougars here today. Coaches not making many lineup changes from their game at Conant High School yesterday. As we begin the top of the 4th with a towering fly ball to left. Robinson gets underneath it. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the top of the 4th to Seegers. We go down to Matt Major, the 1st baseman who reached on a fielder's choice back in the 1st. 5 consecutive outs now for Seidner and the Saxons. As Major steps in and he makes that one just inside for a ball. 1-0. No hits since that 3-run first inning for the Cougars. There's that one right down the middle for a strike, 1-1.
Thought about it, had that front foot up.
Comes a 1-1 offering. Shot down to the second baseman, and Sakamoto bobbles it, has to rifle it to first. He just gets him in time. And Major not pleased with that call. That'll be a 4-3, but it was a bit of a scare there if you're Schaumburg, as Sakamoto had a little issue bobbling it, but he eventually corralled it in, and there are 2 away.
Able to keep it in front and track it down and get it over to first.
Steve Arms, the field ump there, making that call. 2 outs now. That'll bring up the right fielder in Kilty. He chops the first one. Kilty, no official at bat. He drew a walk back in the second inning. As he was left on base, a Fitzgerald ground out, who was on deck.
That was a favor for the pitchers. That was a high pitch.
That was basically at the chest level of the home plate umpire, Kevin Moore. Here's the 0-1. This one is hit up the middle for a base hit. Good contact there, and now a runner on first with 2 outs for the Conant Cougars. We have Fitzgerald now at the bottom of the batting order. Grounded out to the pitcher back in the second inning. Fitzgerald will step on in now. Sam Ryan is on deck, as he is the leadoff hitter. We'll go back to the top of the order once again. A quick look back from Seidner, and the pitch offered is foul to the netting behind home plate, 0-1. There are quite a bit of loud outs here today, Bruce.
Yes, there have been.
Comes the 0-1. Just below the knees for a ball. Count evens up. Fitzgerald sets back in. Seidner looks over at first. Here's the offering. This one is a ground ball right back to the pitcher again. So for Fitzgerald, that's 2 straight 1-3 ground outs he's had. And that does it here for the top of the 4th inning. With no runs off of 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning of play. Saxon's trying to strike here, trailing by 1, 3-2 to the Conant Cougars here on our HETV Game of the Week. We start the bottom of the 4th inning now here on our HETV Game of the Week. As on the first pitch, Lancaster, it's a high one down the right side, and Kilty runs over into foul territory to make the grab. So quick pitch to start the bottom of the 4th. There's 1 away here early on in this bottom of the 4th inning off the first pitch. That's making Lancaster's day at 0-2. That'll bring up the catcher in Unger. Got a 2-run double back in the 1st inning of play. He takes that one for a first pitch strike, 0-1. Caleb on deck. Nobody on, 1 out. This one, breaking ball action stays in the zone, 0-2. Courtesy runner for Unger back in the 1st. And Jacob Bishop stole a base to 3rd. As this one heads up, Bruce, this one's coming our way.
Oh, right between us.
Literally right between us. And you didn't budge. That's a quality cameraman's work right there, folks.
Protect the camera.
You just stood your ground there. I was very impressed by that, as this is a grounder to short, throw to first is in time, and there's 2 away. So Unger now is 1 for 2 today, and that'll bring up Caleb, the center fielder, who's 0 for 1 on a ground out to short back in the 1st. You know, you mentioned protecting the camera. You just kind of kept doing the work there. You didn't even get phased by the 3rd baseman and Seegers coming your way or anything. You're going to make him plow over the tripod. That's a professional right there, as a swing and a miss from Caleb makes it 0-1 on the count.
We are right on the foul line. I felt safe.
And on the edge of the fence line here too, rather. Here comes the 0-1. This one is up the middle for a base hit. So Caleb gets on first with a single, his first hit of the ball game. And that'll bring up the first baseman in number 19, and Justin Schoffernacker, who is 0 for 1 today with a ground out to the pitcher.
Shortstop laid out for it, just wasn't able to get a glove.
By half a hair late. Yes. Schoffernacker calls for time. 2 outs, 1 on, bottom of the 4th inning. Here comes the pitch, and a swing and a miss.
Way out in front.
Some spun out of his cleats there. Packer gets back in. Sykes looks back over at first. And the delivery. This one head out in towards left field. And the wind pushed it back a little bit, but Major gets under it. And that'll do it here in the bottom of the 4th inning. So no runs off of 1 hit, no errors. And 1 man left on base. As we've completed 4 here at Schaumburg High School, we'll go to the top of the 5th inning. Cougars coming to bat. It's Conant 3 and Schaumburg 2 here on our HETV Game of the Week. About to begin the top of the 5th inning. Got a couple changes out there for the Schaumburg defense, as going over to the pitcher's spot now is number 24 and Tyler Robinson, who started the game out in left field. And the DH in Ben Kim now goes to left. It's the only defensive changes that Schaumburg's made. So we would imagine Robinson on the card just changes his defensive spot. Same with Kim. So that does it for the day of Brandon and Seidner. As the throw to second commences after the warm-up pitches, and we're ready to begin the 5th inning. Robinson now in to pitch. Bring his infield in to discuss a little strategy, trailing by 1 here in the top of the 5th inning. And Bruce, I would say that the outing today from Brandon Snyder was kind of a roller coaster, a little bit of inconsistency overall.
It was. He started out rough and was able to come down and start getting outs after the 1st inning.
They get a bit of a groove in the middle stages there, but not enough to try to keep going the distance, allowing 3 runs. As the top of the 5th inning underway, and we'll breaking ball action for a strike. 0-1 as we go to the top of the order now for the Cougars. Here in this top of the 5th will be Ryan, Sapita, and Sykes. 1, 2, and 3. That one, the second pitch taken for a ball, 1-1. Ryan today is 0 for 2. Flew out to center and he popped out to the second baseman. As a chop, swing goes foul to the right side, 1-2.
Little check swing, foul ball there.
He gets back in. Robinson ready to deliver. And here comes the 1-2. Foul tip, just getting it probably on the very last centimeter of that bat to make some kind of contact, and Ryan's at bat will stay alive for at least 1 more pitch. Robinson gets set and fires, left-hander delivers. As this one is a bit of a nubber, and that will get into left field for a base hit. Didn't get the cleanest of contact on it, but he'll take it as he goes to first. Off the 1-2 pitch, and there's 1 on here with nobody out here in the top of the 5th inning. As that'll bring up the catcher in number 20 and Dave Sapita.
I believe that's known as the dying quail.
That was something we brought up in our before we got on the air here today. As Robinson looks at the runner at first, no throw, and the Sapita tried to show bunt. And he went around with that bunt attempt, even though there was no throw made to first or second. So that'll be for a strike that is Sapita 0-1.
That ball was over his head. He didn't want to do that. Couldn't stop himself.
And he looked like he wanted to try to pull away from it and duck underneath the ball. As you mentioned, Bruce, that was high above the strike zone, but he was wrong place, wrong time. He lays down the bunt this time to the pitcher. Runner will go to second. Throw to first is in time. So the runner moves off the bunt. Sapita's out at first. So Ryan advances to second, and Cepita's out on the 1-3. And that'll bring up the pitcher for the Cougars in Mason Sykes. Sykes is 0 for 1 today with a walk and a run scored. He walked back in that first inning, and he grounded out to the second baseman back in the third inning of play. The first pitch he sees here is low for a ball, 1-0.
1 out, 1 on. Conant trying to add to their lead.
Second baseman Hedman on deck. Here's the 1-0. That one low again, ball 2. Being very consistent again, as Rushi mentioned in the last inning, out of the southeast now, it would appear. Changing direction a little bit from where we started today. Comes to 2-0 as this one.
Big swing and a miss.
Big hack there makes it 2-1.
It's swinging around more to the directly out of the east now.
Right to left field, just so you get the vantage point where the wind's blowing in terms of the baseball perspective. As this one, the sinker is in, as Ryan had thought about going to third, but decides not to. As that one bounces in for a ball, and the count now goes to 3-1.
Pitcher knocked it down, kept it in front.
Runner on second, one out top of the fifth. Here's the 3-1 pitch. That is inside for ball 4.
Didn't look like that missed by much, but it did miss.
So Sykes draws his second walk of the afternoon, and that'll bring up Tyler Hedman. Hedman today also 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. Runners at first and second. Conant trying to add on to their lead here in the top of the fifth. With only 1 out. Hedman fouls that one back to the netting behind home plate foul. Starting to feel a few raindrops.
Yep.
Here comes the 0-1 from Robinson. This one is smacked out towards left center field. Caleb gets underneath it, and there are 2 away. Runners do not advance. I mentioned busy workout in center field today. A lot of F8s on the scorecard. And there are 2 away, as that brings up the center fielder and Jack Rieger. Rieger 0 for 2 today with a fly out to center and a ground out to short. And the home plate umpire, Kevin Moore, comes out for a second, as it looks like we're going to have a courtesy runner come on at first for the pitcher, Sykes. As out there right now is number 18, if I can see that correctly, for the Cougars. And that is John Bustamante. So he's the courtesy runner at first right now. As that one fouled back from Rieger behind home plate, 0-1. Wind really picking up now as the 0-1 is just inside for a ball. Count now evens up.
Yeah, I didn't think he was supposed to come today. Thank you.
Comes the 1-1. This one off of the lower pitch is hit out towards left center field, as this one, and not making the catch there, as that one, was it caught or not? I'm not sure, but either way, couldn't really tell what happened out there, because it looks like if they're calling that a catch, that was probably the most delayed celebration we had ever seen. Either way, it's an out to left field. It wasn't planned that way, because it looked like there was a bit of a challenge from home plate Kevin Moore to see if he really caught it. He caught it either way, and we go to the bottom of the 5th inning in the weirder of reactions we've had. It's still 3-2 Cougars here on our HETV Game of the Week. We now start the bottom of the 5th inning play on our HETV Game of the Week. As the Saxons are at the plate, and off the very first pitch, swinging at that one there was Sakamoto, as that one got into the right field hole for a base hit off the first pitch here in the bottom of the 5th. So Sakamoto on first. Gallagher will be now on into the batter's box. We'll go back to the top of the order. Rain now starting to pick up here a little bit. Gallagher at the plate now. He's 0 for 1 today with a fly out to right.
Chance of rain today was supposed to be about 5% during the game.
And that 5%, they called the odds still, do they not? Sakamoto at first, no out. Schaumburg trying to do something here in the bottom of the 5th, trailing by 1. Here's the pitch from Sykes. That one inside and did not clip Gallagher. Almost did. Inside for a ball, 2-0. Sykes now delivers on this 2-0, and Gallagher went around on that one. Could hold his swing. It's 2-1. Right now, nobody appears to be on deck for Schaumburg. You may see a change. Kim, who was the DH, and a pickoff throw back to first, gets away for a moment, but no advancement there from Sakamoto. Kim, the DH, starting today, then went out to left field. Robinson came in to pitch in place of side. Bunt being shown. That's high and away, and it's 3-1.
That was way high.
Having to stand up for that one was the catcher in Cepeda. No outs here, one runner on, and that'll be a ball 4 walk. They'll put 2 men on with nobody out. And
the man was trying to give himself up with a bunt, and he wouldn't take bunt for an answer.
Here comes the head coach of the Conant Cougars, and Fivelson, to bring his infield in and talk to his pitcher. Discuss a little strategy here with 2 on and nobody out. Schaumburg with a chance to tie the game with a runner in scoring position at second, and the go-ahead run over at first off the walk. Kim now stands in. DH, who moved over to left, who came in to play left field, is now into the box. He's 0 for 2 today with a strikeout.
Good lead at first.
Lead at first and second. Corner's playing tight by the Conant infield. Is that one inside for a strike, 0-1.
Batter again showing bunt, pulls it back.
Sykes stays in. Here comes the 0-1. That one just catches the inside part of the plate for a strike, 0-2.
Off speed in there.
Two on, nobody out. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Shot and foul to the right side. Got Sakamoto over at second, Gallagher at first. Sakamoto's got good speed on the bases. And he's tried to show that speed even though he was caught stealing back in the second inning. Here comes another 0-2. It is high and in for a ball, 1-2. Temperatures also really dropped about 10 to 15 degrees since the start of play today. Here comes the 1-2 from Sykes. And a swing and a miss, strike 3 from Kim, who is not pleased with himself. And there's now 1 away here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
So Schaumburg with a chance to tie it up here, man in scoring position, man on first.
So that'll now bring up the pitcher, former left fielder to start today, and Tyler Robinson.
He's a lefty.
Robinson in. He takes that pitch inside for a ball, 1-0. Robinson walked back into first, advanced to second off of a balk call, and he grounded out to short back in the third inning of play. Sykes sets up, and here comes his delivery on this 1-0. Now one in there for a strike, and evens the count up at 1-1.
Nice pitch right in there at the knees.
There's the 1-1, fouled back behind home plate, 1-2. Kiska on deck, the third baseman. Hitter who's come in today batting over 360. He's 0 for 1 today with a walk, and really use his bat if he gets the chance to come on here in the bottom of the fifth. With runners on, and a 1-2 count with 1 out here in the bottom of the fifth. Here's the pitch. Outside, the count evens up at 2-2. Again, Sakamoto at second. Gallagher over at first off the walk in the previous at-bat. Sykes gets ready for the Cougars on the mound. And here's the 2-2. This one chopped on the left side. That goes to the shortstop. They get 1 at second, and that is all they get. So Sakamoto will go over to third off the throw to second. So Gallagher is out at second off of the 6-4. And Robinson gets to first off the fielder's choice. So that'll bring out the third baseman and Albert Kiska.
Nice slide into second, maybe broke up the double play attempt.
That was a clean slide. You know, that's a lot of the talk now in baseball these days about intentional slides to try to take out that infielder who's manning the second base bag, as Kiska sees the first pitch high for ball 1. Lancaster on deck. Tying run 90 feet away. Swung high and inside.
For a strike.
Kiska looking over to his coach like, what do you want me to do on that one? Kevin Moore he didn't think about the call there. He thought it was in his strike zone that he has. There's the 1-1. Kiska fouls it back, 1-2.
Straight back, just a little bit underneath that.
Big spot here to try to tie this game up. 3-2 Conant here in the bottom of the fifth inning in our HGTV game of the week. Big spot for the Saxons to try to do something right here. Sykes the pitcher for Conant. Here's the offer.
Oh,
and that plunks him, and Kiska gets on base with an HBP. So the base is now loaded, and that brings up Lancaster, the right fielder, who's 0 for 2 today.
So 2 outs, bases juiced.
So the go-ahead run in scoring position at second, tying run at third, insurance run perhaps at first. Lancaster the batter. 0 for 2 today with a fly out to center and a foul out to the right side with a right fielder, and Kilty made the catch. Lancaster looking to change his day around at the plate right here. Takes it for a call, strike 1. Tension starting to rise here as we get into the later innings of this contest. So the sun wants to try to come out again, out to the west. Here comes the 0-1 from Sykes. And that
he hit him.
plunks him, and Lancaster not pleased after being hit. He stares back at Sykes. So the tying run comes in off the hit by batter, and we are tied at 3 here in the bottom of the fifth inning. So all of that, getting the runners on, and 2 hit batters in back-to-back sequences brings in a run.
Yeah, back-to-back. Both of them hit the back. So a tie game. And the bases still loaded.
That'll bring up the catcher and Joe Unger, who had a 2-run double back in the first. his courtesy runner and Jacob Bishop stole third. And then back in the fourth inning, Unger grounded out to short. So another spot here now as we're tied at 3 in the bottom of the 5th for Schaumburg to perhaps take the lead in this at-bat with Unger. That's ball 1. The Schaumburg dugout really loud with energy right now. They're trying to avenge that 5-4 loss at Conant yesterday. That one low and in, ball 2. Caleb, the center fielder, would be on deck. And here comes the head coach once again. And Derek Feivelson. Does he make a change here? Or is he going to let Sykes try to battle this out? And that will still be the case.
A celebratory siren going off.
As it looks like soccer action today over at the football field. Prospect and Schaumburg, I believe. Prospects are the Knights in the Mid-Suburban Conference. 2 balls, no strikes to Unger, with the bases juiced and 2 outs. Here's the pitch.
There it is.
Big cut, wow. I think Unger wanted to swing at that one. 2-1.
He was trying to put that one over the fence.
We got Robinson over at 3rd. We have Kiska at 2nd. And this one is hit out to right center. And camping underneath that one to make the out is Rieger. And they leave the bases loaded. But we do have a tie game. 1 run scores for the Schaumburg Saxons off of 1 hit. No errors and 3 men left on base. So that does it for 5 full innings of play. We go to the top of the 6th inning with the Cougars trying to avenge that 1 run they just gave up. We'll see what happens in the final 2 innings of regulation baseball here on our HETV Game of the Week. Back with you for our HETV Game of the Week here at Schaumburg High School, the home of the Saxons. We're tied at 3 as we start the 6th inning. Conant Cougars up to bat. It's been a back and forth battle here. After 5 combined runs scored to start off play in the 1st inning, we've only had 1 since. Now is the Saxons, with having 2 hit batters back at the bottom of the 5th inning of play to bring in the tying run. As we see the Cougars come up to bat, it'll be Seegers, Major, and Kilty, 6, 7, 8 guys in the batting order, come up with Robinson, the pitcher, delivering as the 6th inning is underway and a strike 1.
Conant was kind of lucky that inning not to have any more runs scored. They left the bases loaded.
And a swing and a miss there, and it's 0-2 to Seegers. Seegers is 1 for 2 today. An RBI single. He was caught trying to advance to 3rd in the 1st as this one shot to the 3rd base side. As this one a bit of a bobble and a 1-hop gets in time. A bit of a late call there from the infield umpire and Steve Arms as Kiska bobbled it here down the 3rd baseline and then threw it over to 1st on the 1-hop. And he got it over to Schoffenacher just in time by barely a half a step, and there is one away here in the top of the 6th inning.
And Schoffenacher able to grab it.
As Major steps on in, takes the first pitch for a strike 0-1.
Looked for a moment there like he might not be able to make the catch, but he got it.
He's on this 0-1, it's hit out to right center field. Lancaster gets under that one, and there's quickly 2 away. Schaumburg with the momentum on their side right now, tied at 3. So quick out there off the 0-1 from Major. That'll now bring up Cole Kilty, the right fielder, who is 1 for 1 today with a single and a walk. Steps in the right-handed batter, and he swings the first pitch to the right side, but it goes down the line foul, 0-1. Fitzgerald, the left fielder, would be on deck should this half inning continue. Comes a pitch now from Robinson. Chopper. That gets by Kiska, trying to make the play and trying to go Derek Jeter style. And that one was Gallagher, but that one on the throw to first way late. And that'll be an infield hit with one out now with 2 outs. That'll bring up Fitzgerald.
Got that deep in the hole, not able to get anything on the throw. Able to beat that out.
Either way, it would have been a tough play to even try to make the out regardless. You do like to see the effort there and hustle. So Fitzgerald now steps in. The runner on first and 2 outs in the top of the 6th. And on the first pitch, he swings that one out in the left field for a base hit. Kilty will stay at second. Fitzgerald now gets out with a single. And we go now to the top of the order. And to the shortstop, Sam Ryan. Ryan 1 for 2 today with a single. That single came back in the previous inning in the 5th. Go ahead run at second base in scoring position. That's Kilty. Fitzgerald's at first. So 2 hits so far in this half inning for Conant. And if there's to be a 30 here, it could be a big one. As courtesy runner now goes on in over at first. And we'll get the name on that in just a moment.
Number 10, it looks like.
That'll be Patrick Birchfield. Thank you, Bruce. You don't even need the binoculars for that one, my friend.
I've got the monocular.
Is that one on the first pitch there for a strike? So Patrick Birchfield now standing at first base as the courtesy runner. Kilty's still over at second, and third base currently vacant. Here comes the 0-1 now from Robinson, the pitcher. Swinging a chopper to the third base side, but foul. And now goes to 0-2 on Sam Ryan. Big spot here for the Saxons to try to get out of this with 2 men on.
2 on, 2 out.
Offense has rather been silenced ever since that first inning where they scored 3 runs, that being the Cougars. And with this one chopped on the third base side, Gallagher makes the throw to first. It is in time. And that does it for this top half of the 6th inning. A close play there as Ryan was about a step away. But in the end, no run comes in. Off of 2 hits, no errors. And 2 left on base. Let's get into the late drama stages here as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Conant 3, Schaumburg 3 on our HETV Game of the Week. Bottom of the 6th inning here on our HETV Game of the Week. We're tied at 3 between the Cougars of Conant High School and the Saxons of Schaumburg. And the first pitch there to Caleb is called for a check swing, strike 1. Caleb today 1 for 2 with a single. He swings and misses that one, and quickly he's down in the hole 0-2.
Fooled with that breaking ball.
Schoffernacher on deck. Schoffernacher 0 for 2 today, as that one is low in the dirt for a ball. We'll do some late inning drama once again, like what happened yesterday at Conant, as this one is popped up behind home plate to the right side out of play. And another ball for the tennis court fandom. And the count remains at 1-2. Schoffernacher and then Sakamoto to follow. 6, 7, 8 hitters as this one is ripped up towards right center field. That'll go in for a base hit to right field. So Caleb gets on board now at first. There's 1 out with nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th inning, tied at 3. Schoffernacher stands on in. Sykes staying in there. Pitching 5+ innings so far. Batter Schoffernacher calls time for just talk to his head coach standing by the third base side and Cal Seeley. Sykes looks over at first. Not much of a leadoff at first right now. As that one, he's going to take off for second, though. The throw into second off the swing and a miss is in time to get the runner. So Caleb caught stealing in a big out. And Schoffernacher swung and missed at the pitch. So it's an 0-1 count now with 1 out in the bottom of the 6th. As Caleb is caught stealing. It's the second time today a Saxon's base runner has been caught out at second. Comes the 0-1. That one just catches the inside part of the plate for a strike, 0-2. Nobody on, 1 out in the bottom of the 6th. Here's the pitch. And they will get a runner right back on as this one goes into right center field for a hit. And Schofernagger gets on first. They'll bring up Sakamoto, the second baseman. He is 2 for 2 today with a caught stealing and a run scored. 2 singles as well.
And that caught stealing hurts even more with that base hit. Would have had men at first and third.
Not much of a lead from first again. Sakamoto takes the first pitch inside for ball 1. Sakamoto stands in. Not much of a very patient hitter so far today as he holds off inside on that one for ball 2. Did not have a count today that hit a ball 2 until that very pitch. So 1-2 he singled in the second, and on the first pitch in the 5th he got a single. Here comes a 2-0 from Sykes. Swing and a cut there. It's 2-1.
Interesting looking swing at that. Didn't really extend the arms.
Not much there, kind of tried to stay back, but it was kind of an excusable swing. Here's a 2-1. Jacks that one right back to the pitcher, waited for somebody to get to second. The throw to second's in time, and the throw to first in time as well. And a double play, a 1-6-3 double play, ends the 6th inning. So we'll go to the top of the 7th inning. The tie score of 3-3 between the Cougars and the Saxons on our HETV Game of the Week. We go to the top of the 7th inning on our HETV Game of the Week. Tied at 3 between the Conant Cougars and the Schaumburg Saxons in this Mid-Suburban West Conference battle. Glad you're with us for our Game of the Week on this Wednesday, April 11, 2018. Ryan Fay with you on the call alongside Bruce Anderson with the shots down the third base line. Our guy down the right field, Paul Rick Signorella. Providing the great action and the great shots you're seeing throughout this broadcast here at this great field at Schaumburg High School. Top of the 7th, Conant batting, and right as Robinson was getting ready to pitch, the plate umpire said, Kevin Moore said, I wasn't ready, and now I am. Cepeda is the leadoff hitter for this top of the 7th. He swings at the first pitch. That will drop in the center field for the first pitch and a base hit. He gets on with a single. That's his second hit of the ball game, and his courtesy runner will now come on out there, and that is number 13, Luke Van Boeven. We saw him come out there back in the first inning. He's advanced to second off of an error from the pitcher, the starting pitcher rather, in Snyder. Snyder tried to throw a pickoff throw to second, and it went airborne into center field. And eventually, Luke Van Boeven scored on a wild pitch at home. Sykes, the batter, the pitcher for the Cougars, steps in, and did he go? Let's see. He did not go. They say he held his swing, says Steve Arms, the infield umpire. So that'll be ball 1. Sykes is 0 for 1 with 2 walks today. He's very patient at the plate overall, as Sykes takes a big cut at that one. Count now evens up at 1-1. Hedman on deck, the second baseman. Hedman is 0 for 2 with a walk today. Here's the offer. That one outside. Sykes lets that one go for a ball, 2-1. Sykes had a walk in the first inning and eventually scored. Grounded out to second in the third. And he walked again in the 5th. Takes that one inside for ball 3. Count now in his favor at 3-1. Runner on first. Nobody on the top of the 7th. Here comes the 3-1.
Runner going.
And that
Check swing down the foul down the first base line.
Also, just to have a quick note of as well, we do have a new pitcher out there. And that is number 17 in Peter Candifer. So Robinson was the second pitcher now used. Candifer now the third one today. Seidner was the original starting pitcher as runner was going, and this one hit out deep in the right center field. That one's going to get all the way to the wall. Caleb will throw it on in, and a run is going to score. The throw is late, and the Cougars have the go-ahead run in the top of the 7th inning, 4-3, with a runner on second and nobody out. So the pitcher delivers in the hitter's spot as Van Boeven comes on in to score, and the Cougars have the lead back. So Hedman comes out with a little bit of a, not so much pressure at bat now. With his team up by 1, but would love to get an insurance run here in the top of the 7th and nobody out right now. He takes that one for a strike, 0-1. Hedman, as we mentioned, 0 for 2 with a walk today, 2 flyouts. So Sykes delivers the big hit here in the top of the 7th. Could that be the game-winning hit? As Hedman will have that one be a line out to right field. Sykes had to scurry on back off the liner that was caught out by Lancaster. And there's now one away in the top of the 7th.
Nice play on that line drive. And a nice throw in, but the runner back.
So that'll bring up the center fielder, Rieger. Rieger is 0 for 3 today with 2 flyouts and a ground out. Sykes, the runner at second, had a decent lead. That one's fouled back behind home plate, 0-1. Rieger at the plate now. Seegers is on deck. Is the offering? Is this one
foul down the first base line?
Come on, Rick, make the play. He brought his mid today.
I don't think he brought it mid in.
Remind him from next time is here's the 0-2. Breaking ball action just above the strike zone. It'll be a ball 1 and 2 now. See him dive for a play soon enough. See what Rick's athletic defensive skills of a baseball can be. Here comes the 1-2. This one chopped up, foul again to the right side. Sykes, runner at second. Other bases wide open. Sykes delivered the RBI double to make it a 4-3 ball game. Pitch is rifled into center field for a base hit. Sykes will stay at third. And now runners at the corners with 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning. So that'll now bring up the third baseman in Christian Seegers. As I believe that one they may have called a catcher's interference perhaps. As they did not make it really official, but either way, they're going to call that as an out, so I do apologize for the quick error. Either way, we move on to the bottom of the 7th inning. Second time we've been caught a little off guard there with that one, but nevertheless, it's 4-3 Cougars over the Saxons. Saxons' final chance here in the bottom of the 7th. We'll see if they can pull it off on our HETV Game of the Week. Bottom of the 7th inning now, last chance for the Saxons as they trail by 1 to their crosstown rival in the Conant Cougars, 4-3 on our HETV Game of the Week. Ryan Fay with you on the broadcast alongside Bruce Anderson here, providing the shot at third base. Rick Signorelli with a great cam work down the right field line. As that first pitch there taken for a ball. As that's Gallagher, the 9-1 and 2 hitters you'll see here in this bottom of the 7th inning. As that one
strike called.
count is even, as Bruce just mentioned. 0 for 1 today with a walk is Gallagher. As he swings at that one goes out in towards right center field. 2-men chase after, and that one will be caught by the right fielder in Kilty, and there is one away. So now back up to the top of the order, as we have the new hitter is the pitcher we saw come in the inning prior, and Peter Candifer. So this will be his first official at-bat today, as he takes that first pitch for a strike. Here comes the 0-1, as this one is hit up towards the shortstop, and Ryan throw it up first offline, and making the catch there somehow was Major, but he was off the bag when he had to dive out to reach to get the ball. So Candifer is safe at first. He'll come out now for the courtesy runner. That'll be Fred Ewan to be that courtesy runner at first base. So the tying run is on first.
Trying to dive to make the tag, not able to get it.
I believe that will count as a hit. The ball did not officially get away from the first baseman. So now Robinson stands in. We'll see what defensive positioning he would be if we are to go to extras. If a rally can be summoned from the Saxons. And pitch outside. Also have a new pitcher out there for the Cougars. And trying to close this one out is number 3, Joe Pavlicek. Pavlicek now rifles that one in for a strike. And it's 1-1 to Robinson. So 6 decent innings today from Sykes. As here comes the 1-1. Now on low and away, ball 2. I think overall, not a bad performance today from Sykes, though, Bruce.
No, he was able to keep him scoreless after the first inning. Both pitchers stepped it up after the first.
Here comes the 2-1 offering, as this one is an opposite field hit to the left side, but foul. The count now is at 2-2. Our next Game of the Week broadcast on HGTV will be over at Hoffman Estates High School, and we'll see these same Schaumburg Saxons over at Hoffman Estates next Wednesday.
No, we will not. We'll see these Conant Cougars.
Conant Cougars, excuse me. I flipped my note wrong by mistake. Conant will be at Hoffman Estates. Either way, we'll probably see Schaumburg down the line. Conant at Hoffman Estates next week as our game of the week. As it's a full count of 3-2. Kiska, the batter on deck. Runner at first. Here's the pitch. A chopper to the third base side. And the throw to first is in time to get him. Seegers with a nice play off of a dribbler as he threw off his balance.
Nice cross-body throw. Able to get enough on it to get it over to first.
So Kiska now will step in, as he is the last chance with a runner in scoring position now. That being Fred Ewan, the courtesy runner. So again, just as a program reminder, our game of the week next week, Conant at Hoffman Estates.
We had another Wednesday game.
Maybe the temperatures will be warmer by then. And that's me thinking optimistic, as that one is low for a ball 1 to Kiska, who was hit by a pitch in his last at-bat back in the 5th inning.
This started out nice. It was sunny and warm, and then clouds rolled in. The wind moved around to the east, picked up. But still much nicer than it was on Monday when we had that snow.
I do not want to be reminded of snow anytime soon. Trying to move on to the spring months and warmer temperatures. That's why we're seeing some great baseball action today in the Mid-Suburban West, as this one's fouled to the right side. And the Schaumburg Saxons are now down to their final strike at 1-2. Another late inning drama between these two crosstown rivals. as it was 5-4 yesterday for Conant to have the victory on their home turf. As a chopper goes back to the pitcher, and no throw is going to be made. Well, the one will be late. This one gets away from the first baseman, and wanting to go home was Fred Yoon. He stays at third, and the tying run is 90 feet away. And oh, did he ever want to try to race home? Like Coach Cal Seeley said, stay there. Let's live to fight this one. As runners on the corners with 2 outs. Olinfield now will come on in.
Got a meeting at the mound.
So that'll bring up Lancaster, the right fielder, who was hit by a pitch as well back in the 5th inning. And he has 2 flyouts back in the 1st and 4th, respectively. Unger would be on deck. Another big spot here for the Saxons to try to do something. 90 feet away to tie it. The go-ahead runner and the winning run is at first. Lancaster in a big spot right here to try to take down his crosstown foe in this mid-suburban West showdown. Pavlicek gets ready. Here comes the first pitch to Lancaster, and he hits that one foul. Good thing there's a fence by that dugout. It's 0-1.
There were some Conant Cougars skipping rope over there.
Then they remember there was a fence there to protect them for safety. 0-1, 2 outs, runners on the corners. The pitch. This one hit up towards the shortstop. Ryan just goes to second, flips it in time. And the Conant Cougars, who on their home turf yesterday get the 5-4 victory over their crosstown foes in the Saxons, they come to Schaumburg's home turf today and get the road 4-3 victory over the Saxons in this mid-suburban West Conference showdown.
So Conant does it to him again. Another 1-run win, this time on the road.
So both teams shake hands at home plate. Another close game that started off with some offensive power from both sides. When 5 combined runs were scored back in the 1st, the Saxons got a run in the bottom of the 5th when 2 hit batters forced in a run. And then in the top of the 7th inning, it was Sykes with the 2-run, or the double to bring home the go-ahead run. And that was all she wrote in terms of the offense needed for the Cougars today. Again, coming up, our next HETV Game of the Week will bring us over to Hoffman Estates High School when we will see these same Conant Cougars over at Hoffman Estates. So that does it for us here today. For Rick Signorella and Bruce Anderson, I'm Ryan Fay signing off until next week for Conant at Hoffman Estates. See you then.